Start recording. Okay, here we go. So yeah, what happened exactly Linux? What is going on here? Yeah, so this is LinuxLite. Here's my story about it. So I've got my Unraid virtualizer, and I installed LinuxLite there. I started 3.6, 3.8, 3.7 and 3.8. No, 7, 6 and 7, 8. There we go. See? Photographic memory. However, I installed it on Unraid. I don't know. I wasted at least 2.5 hours again yesterday. I made a video, but it would have been unfair to LinuxLite. Because the problem is, I patched through my hardware, my NVIDIA graphic card, RTX 3070, and I installed it, let's say 7 times, I would think, a little bit more. And the old driver was a number 470. I could install this. That worked. Couldn't get N264 codec to work with it. But that might have been my fault, because here it is, for example. I will try that again. If you go for Lite, software, up to favorites. So you go to Lite software, media software, and of course I did the same here, because I needed the codec for QuickSync, right? Because for recording. So if you go and install software, they did really good. I mean, this looks nice, right, compared from before, and they added quite a bit. The OBS version I'm using is installed. Yeah, you can't see it. It's in the removing part. So OBS was installed from this. Chromium was installed by this. Tor browser was installed by that. KeyPass was installed by this Lite software. Yeah, Nextcloud, I just got it from Synaptic. So, however, and yeah, I think I have to go to the other side. So like remove, then you can see what I really installed. So yeah, I installed Chromium, Firefox, KeyPass, OS Studio, Redshift, and restricted extras. Look at that. Additional codecs and file formats. That's where you get it from. Oh yeah, and then I installed VirtualBox here. And I have to make a video about VirtualBox, what people like to know, and some other stuff. And the security part comes, no worries. We have to start taking privacy serious. By the way, this is installed on my cursed laptop, which didn't give me much trouble here. And if you install Linux on a laptop, you got to encrypt your hard drive. If it ever gets stolen, you will be already super mad. But if it ever gets stolen and they have easy access to your files, documents, maybe never ever use safe password in the browser. So that's why I've got KeyPass. I have got Bitwarden 2, self-hosted as Vault Warden. But I like KeyPass now, because that's not online and it's very hard then to breach. Right? So yeah, here we go. So yeah, KeyPass. And in a moment I synchronize that with Nextcloud. So I've got a little Nextcloud installation, which I showed too. It's so easy. And I had 3 ways. There's the normal thing where you install your Nextcloud with MariaDB, I think it is. Then you have the AIO, which was nice, but too complicated when things go wrong, in my opinion. And there's another way. So, however, back to the story. So, after the 470, I was actually too stupid to find the restricted extras. I think I'll do it again on my Unraid virtualizer and see if that is actually fixing it. Oh, no, it won't. Sorry. Yeah, maybe on the 470, I will try this out. But if you usually install the recommended or the tested from this, they have that driver thing here, driver. So install driver. So you have this. That's a typical Ubuntu thing, right? So I can't blame Lite for it. But if I then get the drivers here from NVIDIA, and it usually said tested, and I install it, and that's a 580, 590, and so ever. Sometimes they install, then they're running fine. Oh yeah, wonderful, great. I reboot, work 2, wonderful, then I run update, and there it goes. And you can't fix it because it goes, it doesn't even go anymore to the menu, to the grub menu. It just goes reboot, 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 reboot. So I waited patiently a day and a half. If it maybe stops, it doesn't. No, I didn't wait that long. However, yeah, okay. Oh dear me. So that's what happened to me, right? So it went to reboot, 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 reboot. So what I'm going to try now, next time, is just to give LinuxLite here a fighting chance. It's not a light problem, right? Right, the drivers are coming from Ubuntu. What LinuxLite did so far, it looks really nice. They have very nice windows. Look, it's nice round corners. The colors are nice. Everything is really, really nice. It's JT Key, right? It's very, very nice designed, and I really love their software thing here. What I would recommend for these people is having here maybe a cluster, a folder saying Lite software or just Lite tools. That would be good, Lite tools. And then you find, because if you go in Lite, yeah, I changed this here, right? I want to have this. I don't like looking down. So when I searched, I have it on the top. And of course, I've got categories on the left and the software on the right. So you see, look, they have light tweaks, which were helpful because I was also capable on, when I downloaded Nextcloud, I downloaded the wrong thing and I uninstalled it and I broke it. So, and instead of, I mean, there's usually on Synaptic something for repair, but you can go in the tweaks and there you have an option. I'll show you that quick. Default, blah, 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 boot fix, nee. Where is it? Package system repair fix. So I clicked that, set begin, takes a few seconds, maybe a minute, and was fixed. And then I could install the next cloud I wanted to have. So, but if you see, they have lots of this Lite software. They put it under system, which is, I would love for them to put that in just a little folder on the left, Lite tools. And then you find it all, right? This It's almost like from MX, yeah, and what Antiques I think has that too. But MX Antiques, let's say, they have really tons of stuff, and that can be overwhelming. You know, if you look, let's say for MX tools, yeah, you will find 250,001, and here, yes, you have a handful, but not too much. Like System Report is good for beginners, you know, that they have that too at MX and Antiques. So I don't think there's anything special what MX and Antiques doesn't have. But they're not overwhelming so much. Yeah, they have these little tweaks. The software is a nice one. That's the same what MX Antiques has. And I think this is a great idea. I think when distros go that way, it's really, really good. It's based on Ubuntu. I don't like Rust. And in a moment Rust is breaking the whole thing, then what can I do? Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe things will work out that people start all of a sudden waking up and common sense comes back and logic. So these natural things we were born with, at least my generation. Oh, dear me, I tell you. So yeah, they got everything. I see, I didn't even use light sound when I set up OBS. So that's the OBS here from the Ray Pro, I guess. Or maybe they did it, I don't know. I think Ubuntu should have that too. But they made it easy, right? I just clicked install software, choose what I wanted to choose, and ran. Here we are, and I can record. And I know it sounds weird. I know this should sound better because the first time I forgot to plug my my headset into the laptop because it was still in my virtualizer. So I had a weird sound. Yeah. Be grateful that I didn't send that video up. That wasn't too much. However, so firewall, I haven't checked that yet. HTTP setting, I don't want to do anything with that. Install software. So I've got, as usual, look what I got here. So that's my scanner. HPLib, of course, works with no problem. And that I don't understand. I mean, I'm picking here a little bit on GhostBSD. They have the HPLib there. I know I like GhostBSD. I like what they're doing. What does it help when that software does not work? I mean, with GhostBSD, I call it a cursed laptop, or because I've got special characters in my password for my wireless password. Who knows? It saves it properly. Everything is fine, but it can't connect. It just doesn't. Even after an update, nope, I could not persuade it. So this didn't work. And HPLib, of course, no way. It's always corrupted, never works, and I don't know what it is, and it's annoying. Because that, for me, is a big step. I need to scan, I need to print with my printer. Scanning, definitely scanning. I really, really need it. Just for myself, for my wife. And yeah, it's a must-do. I haven't tried yet to install VirtualBox on GhostBSD. If that works, yes, you can work around, but like, I'm gonna say this, like Linux Mint and what did I have? Open Mandriva and Magia, they just work. There's not much to do, it just works. You push the button, works, push the button, works, push the button, works. Oh yeah, and you might be shocked to see this here, but now take a deep breath. There we go. These things, I'll most likely put them away, so that would go like this, right? Desktop, settings, icons. Do I need a trash can? No. Removable devices? No, not really. Network shares. They should not show disk and drives. I don't think so. Other devices? No. I don't know. Removable network share. Disk and drives? No. Other devices? No, I don't think so. What else do we have? Show icon tooltips. Show some thumbnails. Whoa, that is that. Delete option. Show menu. Background. That's of course perfect. I don't know. Does it show up here if I go for network? Yes, it does. So you can just delete them, kind of, yeah, if you want them deleted. In the moment I don't, because I want to play around with it. This will stay for a while now, because I've got some work to do, and yeah, maybe there comes an update from GhostBSD that my wireless driver works, and maybe from Magia 9, that they have an update where you can, in the installer, then at least choose where you want to have the boot record written to which drive. And I also will try with Magia, if I go in the expert mode, if I can change it then. And I mean, first I use a normal USB stick, not Ventoy, to install Magia. Maybe that will sort it out, that it writes right away in the hard drive instead of my nice USB stick. If it does it again, now you will hear some swearing wherever you are. And then we go from there. So Lite, I have a long story with it. I used it when the guy came out and did this for his mom, and that was great. And so, and I used it, and you know, people pick on Ubuntu, oh yeah, and bad, and this. Ubuntu really did the breakthrough for us Linux people. You know, when we were tinkering on with 7-needle printers, 9-needle printer, and was it 7 and 9? I think so. I don't know anymore. But it was quite some hard work, and these scanners, you know, which we had, these hand scanners. Oh dear me, these were the days. Those were the days. But there was still common sense. There was, like Linux usually is, there is no country. That is just developers working humans for humans, and left and right never really existed. So I never bought that. You know, there is no left and right. You're pro-human or you're not. And that is it for me. So, but this is how far I go for politics. Updates are all done. You get a message here when you fire it up. It will tell you, oh no, you can't have it. And so I changed, of course, the date. Has to be 24-hour system. I like my date that I see the date. Yeah, the date, month, a year. You know, if I put the day there, then it gets even longer. I think that I'm good enough. Or the way you do it, of course, you just go in, properties, times and date. So I could go. Oh, is it? Don't like it. See, I would like to have, yeah, Friday 13th. Oh dear me, Friday the 13th. Now we're all doomed. Look at that. I shouldn't have done this. Yeah, no, I don't live like that. Everything is as it is, and doesn't matter what day it is and what number it has. So I'm not playing around with that. So I added this one here because I want to be able to shut down. So if you go and log out, then it goes, you get the bottom for reboot and shut down and blah 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 blah. So how can I say this? It's of course, I mean, it's Ubuntu. They got a long way. You know, people are always wondering that they play around and they say, oh no, look how much it uses, right? yeah, don't forget, I had browsers open, I installed software, played around and did things. And what you have in a RAM, it stays in a RAM, because why not make use out of your RAM, right? I mean, there's some others, I think Mageia, OpenMandriva, they're kind of flush, which is okay to me too. Because most of us, we have now solid state drives, even though I've got tons of these 2.5 spinning drives, and I will use them because they're good for read-write, you know. Solid state drive is good for writing and using, but you can't avoid little writes on a computer. On a laptop, I think it's fine. But in a server, I think I use them for total read-write action, you know. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Oh yeah, I have to do something with my Open Media Vault. Unread is okay, so yeah, I'll get there later. We might have to do some server work too. But as I said, so here I've got my VirtualBox, of course, and you know, that's the easy thing with VirtualBox. I must say, it just works. You just go add, and then you add your machine. So I copied Salix over. My Salix machine where I'm working with, my DZME Linux, my channels software, that's MX, and this is my Salix 15, right? So if I just copy them over in the VirtualBox folder, and then I add them, and I don't even have to change anything because they're always running from the same laptop. Otherwise, you might have to change your settings if you have put it on a machine with less CPUs. It might be useful before you get an error message and get told off from VirtualBox. You shouldn't be doing this. Alright, as you can see, I've got 8 cores, and I give this everything 4. And yes, so of course you have a performance thing, but you know what, I come, you know, if you see my first videos, I had a dual core, that's all I had. Yeah, and my laptop could only read 3 gigabytes. Doesn't matter what you put in. And that was that. And it worked, and now this works too. So I have nothing to complain. I'd rather have a little bit more performance. I move loss compared to Word Manager, for example, which is not much, to be honest. But I don't have super huge hard drives. My hard drives are really, really small. You know, they got 85 gigabyte. But if you go, for example, in again in DZME Linux, let's see. I don't think that's the one, isn't it? Which one is it? Let's see. Kilobits. Oh yeah, yeah. I just was testing you guys. Of course, I would never make a mistake like this. I give you my politician word of honor. So DZME Linux from 85 gigabyte is using 18.3. And oh, I forgot what MX. I used MX Linux for it. See, so that's the advantage from VirtualBox. It doesn't take all the space just because you said it can have it. It should have it if it needs it. But if it doesn't use it, why block your hard drive? Because if you see my little hard drive here, by the way, if you see here, it says swap, but it's a swap file. Without asking, put a swap file, which I like. It's great. Doesn't give any trouble to beginners. Are we still recording? Where's my OBS? Yes, we're still recording. So the system made a mistake. Because as we all know, I never make a mistake. What was I looking for? gparted. Gparted. There we go. And my super secret software password. And you see, it doesn't have a swap file. And of course it's encrypted. You must encrypt your hard drive. Trust me, you must encrypt it. Yeah, because if somebody steals your stuff, it's already bad, it's stolen, right? But the data. You know, you naughty people have usually from your girlfriends or wives and pictures on, naughty, and you don't want everybody to see it, right? It's not everybody's business. So, I don't know. And LinuxLite feels like home, course XFCE, but soon XFCE will have a very bitter taste. I hope somebody is forking it, that it stays normal. That would be nice. LinuxLite, maybe you want to do this? I don't know. The guy from who's LibreX org, he's already forking Git, because that goes also Rust. And Rust is what the name says. It will corrode the system. It will. It's a Trojan. Yeah, because Linux came too far. It replaced Windows, and now people go crazy and they can't stop it anymore. So they infiltrated it a long time ago. I don't know if you remember, I made videos about it where I told these people, said, do not let Microsoft work on the kernel. Well, now they got them different. They just brought crazy people in who have contributed nothing and pretend they have done everything. And now they say, oh, Rust. And what's the argument? I don't really know. I mean, what? Because it's limited. It is missing function. Some compiler will always have different context so that your old programming is for the trash can, which I erased here, so we don't need it. And yeah, so that's my opinion. But however, that's my introduction here to LinuxLite. I will put more stuff out because I have a few things to see. I will check that 470 driver if that resists. Yeah, but then I got, yeah, I will see. I will play around. I come back from my virtualizer, see how it works with that. Not LinuxLite's folder. That's the same what I said with Arch. When Arch gets broken, usually that's NVIDIA. This is, I'm sorry to say. I got NVIDIA cards. I like them. And I have a few AMD cards too. I'm just running out of computers because they're all running as servers now. Dang it. Yeah, so I wanted to put one machine and use something else with it, which I'm not giving away just yet. But I need RAM and I need cores. So we'll see how I do it. Maybe the virtualizer has to hold on to that because it has 16 cores, so that does something. And it has 8, 16, 24 gigabyte of RAM. So not bad. And yeah, that is that. Alright, so I think I called it off for today. We have a long weekend. That means I most likely can't do anything Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Maybe Monday evening. I'd play around with LinuxLite and the NVIDIA driver. I want to see how it works. And I'm somehow confident. I don't know. My guts tell me this must work. Because the 470 worked after rebooting. It worked after updates. So, and I think the codecs, I just get them here from restricted. And then it should work. We'll see. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm doing. When you distro hop, you install, you see how, how you install back and forward. But to be honest, it's so quick done. I installed here HPLib. Yeah, I installed my Drucker. My Drucker, look at that. I'm speaking gibbly here. So I've got my printer here, and I can scan. You see there it is. I'm still running out of ink. And so I can scan, super important. I got VirtualBox. I can almost do whatever I want. I've got, of course, Thunderbird. I mean, there's Betterbird. I would like to try that out too. In a moment, it's one guy, but I think it's worthwhile. He knows his way around. And when he gets more traction, I think that can be something really good, right? So, we'll see. Yeah, we need more people taking stuff over before it goes down the drain. And sadly, I'm not qualified to do this. Because I don't have too much time. And yeah, I try to help with these videos, with my help videos. Next video is the helper videos. It's about VirtualBox and a little problem almost everybody has and how easily you can fix it. But that must, I think I'll do this quick on Monday. Yeah, Monday evening. I don't know what it is for you. I'm here in Central Time. So we'll see how that is for you guys. It will be a short video because it's very easy to do and no big deal. That's the thing. Lots of stuff where people have troubles are easy things. And in between I go with the heavy lifting with other things in the background. And I said, I wasted hours yesterday. I think 3 hours. I even recorded a video about that LinuxLite and on Mageia, of course. But I didn't put that video out because I thought it's unfair. It puts LinuxLite in a very bad shape. And it's a thing, once you know how to fix it, then that's not a bad thing. And it's not LinuxLite's fault. So I can't blame LinuxLite. So, and I think we had enough of the LinuxLite things. Where is it? Apply to all workspaces. There we go. See, now we can breathe. Because just imagine, I mean, I like the Linux Lite wallpaper they have, right? It's not a bad thing. But if you think they spray the skies like like crazy, you can never see the sun again. You never see a blue sky. So it's nice to see some nature where you can actually see how it once was. You know, before the weather manipulation went totally crazy. And like in the US, they showed, like usual, the snow doesn't burn, doesn't melt. It's parasites in it, and absolute all the heavy metals they spray to manipulate the weather. It's all in it. It comes down. I tell my dog not to lick that ice. I mean that chemical compound, which looks like snow, right? So I'm not having that. Who is that? Oh, that's my KeyPass. That's a nice thing. When we get to our security part, we have one already. Yeah, encrypt your hard drive. Really do it. And I like KeyPass now. The fastest, I get when we get there. I call it off now, this video, and I call it a day and a night. And I got to walk my little dog, finish my coffee, which should be cold by now, dear me. And I hope you all have a good day. And yeah, I have a long story here with LinuxLite. And you see, I always change this. I want to see all my open tabs. Doesn't matter on which workspace I am. And you do it just like this. You go in property. No, you don't go in properties. You go in panel. And then you go in preferences. Then you go in items. Then you go into Windows bottom, I think it is. Then you go in edit. And show Windows from all workspaces. I clicked it on. Push the button. All good. Here we go. Done. Then you can click around on workspaces, and I just gave myself 3 workspaces. See if you go workspace setting here. I give myself 3. It came with 2, so total mistake. I need 3. And of course it did a total disaster with the panel. They put it on the bottom. I don't want to bow down in front of my computer. I want to look up, right? Look up, not down. So panel belongs on the top. This is it. And if somebody tries to answer back, you can say, no, you know what, is that my Linux set? So then this is true, because rule number 1 and 2, right? I'm always right. If rule number if somebody thinks I'm not, then rule number 2 says that rule number 1 will be enforced. And there we go. Everything is good. Yeah, my main browser, I like the ungoogled Chrome. You get it as Flatpak, but I haven't installed Flatpak yet, because it's usually better to have the software from the repro, from the distro you have. Like here's of course a lot of Ubuntu stuff in the back, and it all works. So I've got no complaint. Don't need to do anything extra. I think it's pretty fine. I like that picture for now. I really do. Yeah. So I call it a day. There will be some more coming, because I will have my experience playing around. But there comes first a little helper videos about VirtualBox, typical problem what people have, and not real problems. But it will be, with me talking so much like now, maybe I have a 2-hour video. A 15 minutes video max, I think. Maybe even just 10. Alright, if somebody was still listening, fine. If not, then fine too. Because this is not just, oh yeah, this is a distro solution there, use Google. Of course, maybe a mega mistake, Google as a default browser. But you know, like this typical AI stuff. This is a distro which is a long time ago, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I hate that, yeah. And yes, you get some information, but until you get there, they talk worse than I do. Just imagine this. And that's, you will say, oh yeah, I just heard you. That's impossible. No, it's not. It's worst. All right. So I call it a day now, and I wish you all a happy day and that everything is good. And here's my OBS, you see, so it's true. Yes, I told the truth. That's what I usually do. And because I have a simple screen recorder too, but here I can record desktop audio, like what I did with the crazy propaganda, right, in my other video. And I call it a day now. I have to drink my coffee and see what my little dog is doing. I wish you all a happy long weekend. Don't get in the propaganda DDoS attack. Stay out of it. enjoy your day, don't get carried away. It's all meant to make you emotional, go up and down and get anxiety attacks, and you don't have to have anxiety attacks. Every day is as it is, and this is just how it is. What you can do is vanish fear. What for? Alright, because yeah, that's just what it is. I'll give you some live advice in the next videos too, but first I have to do the VirtualBox video. Have a great weekend and stay strong and enjoy life every day, every moment. Okie dokie, bye bye.